must be number 45. That's his ideal.
Can you hear me all right? Just wanted to know.
Need a few go. Sorry guys. Your microphone here too, so just letting you know.
So I was working pretty much flat out, but
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. On behalf of the Manly Warringah Australian Football Club and its game day sponsor Banjo Advertising and Harbour Beach Hotel, welcome to Weldon Oval for the Sydney AFL round 10 match of the day between the Manly Warringah GIANTS and the East Coast Eagles. Would you please give a warm welcome to our guest umpires for this match? AFL Games umpiring record holder Hayden Kennedy, current AFL umpire Ray Chamberlain, and umpiring his 500th Sydney AFL Premier Division match. Congratulations to Frank Kalayzich.
Hey, Manly! Still here, Mary, mate.
where's that
I'm going to go and throw again. Chuck a stick at it, mate. Fresh choice, huh?
Maybe I should go.
I'm just sitting in the stand. Where are you? Hey! There you go.
I look like this, but without makeup.
Next time when I
And you got cooked up.
Dad, look how high it is.
It's a very good afternoon and welcome here to Weldon Oval in Manly Warringah as we see the match of the round in many ways than one. It is the Manly Warringah Giants taking on the East Coast Eagles. It's a top of the table clash, first v second, and the winner today will hold that right exclusively, currently locked on 28 points apiece. The loser can slip as low as third depending on results from other games. And it is, as I said, a match of the round in more ways than one, celebrating the 500th game umpired by Sydney AFL umpire Frank Kalayzich, and he will take the first bounce as expected. A monumental effort, and congratulations to Frank, a stalwart of the AFL Sydney competition and obviously known by many in the AFL Sydney fraternity. A massive effort, and to celebrate the day, of course, it's brought along a couple of old friends umpiring in the middle. Frank, obviously his 500th. Razor Ray Chamberlain joining him, and AFL umpiring record holder Hayden Kennedy has come out of retirement to umpire this game as we get set for the start of the match. Frank Kalayzich holds the ball aloft for the 500th time in AFL Sydney, and we're underway in this match. As I said, top of the table clash between the Giants and the Eagles, and it is setting itself up to being a very good clash here. Beautiful conditions here at Weldon Oval. The ground a little bit muddy underfoot, but we expect to see some great football being played as Manly get the ball out of the centre for the very first time. Lands in the arms of Batten. Goes wide looking for Fowler. That will be a massive contest. Roving the ball well and could have the first goal on the ball. In fact, he just goes across the face of goal. Just the minor score, but Manly on the board first. A very quick turnaround out of the middle. And they'll be desperate to get underway in a good fashion. The Eagles just settled out of defence. Coming clear, finding there, that was McConnell. Hands off, they want to work it through the middle. Batten's got back there, but the mark's taken. Very good mark taken by Daniel Spiteri. Feeds it out. The Eagles just chipping forward, but they've turned it over. Batten, a couple of early touches for him. Runs out of ideas and has to go back. Pops it up, not a great kick. Spiteri gets there, gets a fist to it. Kruger with a big tackle on the sideline. And the umpire will come in and Frank will ball this up right in front of the crowd. A fitting ceremony before the match with both teams and the reserve grade teams lining up to celebrate. Giants there, a little bit of miscommunication. Washington ran into Parker and the ball goes over the boundary line. The big fella in Browning is very good in the rep game we saw a couple of weeks ago. Will be a key to the Eagles today. Dimmery comes up with it. As I said, a little bit muddy and wet underfoot. It'll make it hard at times running through this wing. Gets it clear. Batten again goes forward, looking for Fowler. Just puts the boot in front of it. Blackco in there as well, taking him on Emery, and he'll get the free kick. Too high. Goes short. Finds Ford. Ball's off, and they just work it slightly down the wing. Good inside football from Joinson. Goes back to Ford. They go inside 50 for the first time. A beautiful mark, not paid. And umpire says no, didn't hold on to it. That was Stubbs. And they come away. Sanderson for the Giants. Goes backwards. Could have been holding the ball. Benefit of the doubt. And the Giants get the ball going forward, but they've turned it over again. Turner. It's good to see him back out there. There's a cross goal to Dimmery. Dimmery puts out for Ford. Playing well down the ground, has been one of the Eagles' best in front of goals this season. Back to Emery. Not a lot of space to work in here at Weldon Oval. The Eagles just wanting to be sure of the football. Not a great kick, but a good effort from behind. It was McConnell again. Handball's off to Costello, been a star for the Eagles this season. Now the Giants on the turnover. Brain, handball looked for Pedersen, went over his head. Not a great result. Getting involved in there was Vlatko, and the umpire's seen a free kick. Frankie says in the back, and Vlatko will get the kick. Decides to go short, puts a lot of pressure. But the Eagles come away with it. Out towards Ford, been lively early. He'll work his way forward a little bit. Looking on that occasion for Pearce, just worked under the ball. Handball up from Sanderson. And the Giants find a bit of space. Fowler, long way from home. Not a lot of options forward, as you can see. So he decides to go short, and a good kick.
Dad?
What can the Giants do now? They've absorbed a bit of pressure so far. Nice little bat side inside, but Browning's there for the Eagles. Turner now wants to go around. Browning gave him a little bit of support. Now he's under a bit of pressure, gets the handball away. Good hands from the Eagles. They find eventually gets to Vlatko off the hand fingertips. And they drive it forward, and the target on that occasion was Reed, just couldn't bring it in. Goes back and gets it though. He's got to beat 4, and he's done well here just to wrap it up, they'll claim, for holding the ball, not forthcoming. And Frank Kalayzich has had most of the play so far. And he'll ball this one up again. Approaching the 5-minute mark, first term. Manly with the only score on the board, that being a behind. Once again, a lot of traffic around the football. Not much they can do. The umpire's sent a free kick. It's a throw, and it's going to go to the Eagles. Dimmery, inside 50. Some good work there from Pearce. Works it away, just pops it up. Trying to find an avenue to goal. Couldn't find it. And Chamberlain's umpires come in. Great pace. Of course, showing no fatigue from last night's belter at the SCG. And Stubbs has it deep in the pocket. Very difficult to score from here. Steps in now. Has a look. And will go across goal just for the minor score. One apiece here at Weldon Oval. Good crowd assembled here. Plenty to play for this afternoon. Short finds Ben Bow. One of the key players for Manly this week. Browning gets a big fist up, stops the momentum. But the Giants are there to take it. They go back through Washington. Found Pedersen, wants to step inside. Gets it back, demanded it back in fact, and didn't get it from Washington. Decides going board. And he's found James Brain. Brain just dishes off. Working tight quarters there, and the kick comes from McCaffrey. A penetrating kick. Fowler, too strong. Got rid of Charleston with ease. And Braden Fowler will go back and have the first shot on goal for the Giants. This for the first goal of the game and to put Manly in front. Been so good in front of goal so far this season. Braden Fowler very handy in the rep game. Steps across, likes it off the boot, fades a little bit late, and the umpire will have a close look, and he's missed. Calls from the crowd, applauding the kick. Must be a little bit of wind up high. Just pushed it to the right. Opportunity missed for the Giants. 2 behinds plays 1 behind. The Eagles go short. Good defence from the Giants. They know this ground well. They know how to play a good tight zone. The Eagles go back inboard. Not a bad option. Turner goes over the top. Would have been high on Baker. Eventually was. And now called to play on. Gives it off to Stubbs. Stubbs goes wide. It's a good weighted kick. McConnell back inside to Turner. Turner's kick is a good one again. Vlatko, they work it by hand. Here they go, the Eagles. What have they got inside? Looking for a mark from Reed. Couldn't take it. Falls to ground. Getting through there on that occasion was Merson, but couldn't pick it up. And the Giants relieve a bit of pressure. And it lands in the arms of Carter. Carter's kick further down the ground. No one really in particular. In the end, it hit the deck, and they've turned it over. Anderson goes back. And the Eagles, a scrubby-looking kick, and they've turned it over as well. So the skill's a little bit lacking early in this game. Kosh. Now they get it out. Once again, it's Carter. It's almost a carbon copy of what we saw just a minute ago. They go down. Browning in the front position, but Fowler was too good. Took the mark. Spins around on the right. A big kick looking for home. I reckon he was going for a shot there. And he's turned it over in the form of out of bounds on the full. Not a great result so far in front of goals for Fowler. The Eagles very quickly found Baker. Goes back to where it came from, Emery. Got Vlatko. Now they're looking for another option forward. The running lead comes from Dimmery. It'd be so damaging. Short. Good kick. Found Cass. Wants to go inside. Gets around one. Very gutsy in the mud. Now drives him inside. Cannot take a mark in now. Oh, good work from McConnell. Gets it going forward. Could have been holding the man. Umpire says play on. Now he's wrapped up. And Kennedy, umpire Kennedy will come in and ball this up. Keeping an eye on things. There's experience for you. No lack of that in the umpiring fraternity this afternoon. O'Connor taps it forward for the Eagles. Burrowed the head in there. That'll be interesting how this one's played. Holding the ball. Correct decision. They mentioned they were going to be tight on that this afternoon. And Drinkwater is penalised. Did duck the head and tried to drive through the tackle. Now they go again. Carter has been good off half-back for the Giants. Out there looking for Wern. And couldn't bring it in. It'll be a throw-in on the far side here at Weldon Oval. 10 minutes played. Yet to see a goal on the board. It's 2 behinds to Manly Warringah. And just the single behind to the Eagles. Done all the attacking so far, the Giants, which bodes well for them this afternoon. Washington in the ruck. Brings it down. Gets it cleanly to Panizza. They can't work it out. And it's held up again. Chamberlain. Throws the ball in the air. The Eagles get it off the ground. They go forward, looking for Stubbs. Couldn't get there in the end. Oh, good tackle applied by Cass. Make sure he gets over. And be a throw in. Sanderson, they took the ball over the boundary line. And reset. Both sides will be desperate for a goal. O'Connor with strength gets rid of his opponent. Brings it down. Drinkwater in there again. No, really going. And ball just spills free. We'll have a ball up. Once again, plenty of traffic around the football. And plenty of stoppages. Will we see a goal-free quarter? That would be a big surprise in this top-of-the-table clash. Long way to go yet, though. Stoppage after stoppage, though, at the moment. Connor nicely worked down to Drinkwater. Come in held high, it was. Umpire saw it, and Drinkwater will have a shot. Test his distance at the moment. And Drinkwater. In fact, he's going to dish off close short. Loose checking. He's found Anderson. Anderson goes short again. What's he found? Well, that's well worked by the Eagles. And Merson takes the mark, and he'll kick from about 35 out. This for the first goal of the game at the 12.5-minute mark. Steady approach. Umpire does a little bit of work, but he likes it. It's a goal on the board. The Eagles have got the first. They take the lead. All came from a high free kick. Just off this stoppage, you'll see. Comes through, there's the high contact. And the umpire was right there. So the Eagles get the first on the board. Giants now work it out. Panizza goes far side, finds Brain. Wants to work it short. Not a great kick, just a little bit lazy, but Panizza made it look good. Grabbed it, turned and went. Now he drives them inside 50. Opportunity now. How will it sit for Fowler? The back of the pack, and the Eagles will rush it through. Just a minor score. Four points the margin. Short Costello. Haven't seen much of him so far this quarter. Expect him to work his way into the game. Goes further afield to Kruger. Kruger's kick, not a great one. In fact, the worst possible result. And Carter has it for the Giants. Works it around. A little bit of a screen there. Well done by the Giants. Drives it forward, puts it up. Back to the packer there, beautifully roved, and Washington nearly made a meal of it, but snuck it in the corner, and the Giants get the reply. Almost wasn't meant to be, but some great work from Washington off the pack. See here, it's Carter, just puts it up high. And off the back of the pack, Washington ran it through, but the kick, we got a lucky bounce and snuck it in. Giants get the lead back. Back in the middle. Eagles from the centre. Browning underneath this one. Got to beat 3. Ball hits the deck. And Pearce is wrapped up in a tackle. Browning brings it down. Merson at the bottom of the pack, but couldn't get any space to work in. Now off the boot of McCaffrey, and he's put it out of bounds on the full. Turner works it quickly back inside. Emery was pushed up with the press. Emery's kick inside. Just a bit of a hit and hope. Well roved. Bottom of the pack there. But it's the Giants that come away with it through Pedersen. Nice little arm in there from Merson. Cass with the tackle. Vlatko in there as well. Cass steps up with it, just hands it off to Merson. Umpire didn't see that one. Plenty of traffic around the ball. Quickly. Goes in the air. Merson tries to work his way through traffic, but it's the Giants that come away with it. It's a race here from Monk. He leads Anderson to the ball. Some good work there, Charleston. Support from Costello. Down the line, and Dimmery just couldn't bring the fingertips in. And it goes out of bounds. Cass coming off now. Drinkwater working his way back on. Spiteri in waiting here, right in front of the grandstand at Weldon Oval. Browning up against Washington. Beats them all. Back of the pack, Dimmery. Goes inside. How will this one bounce nicely? Just needs to sit up. They've got the numbers. And now the Giants come in. And Pearce at the bottom. The umpire will ball it up. A little bit off the ball. Washington tried to run it at pace, but Browning got in the way. Now they've got players over it. They've got to be careful not to give away the free kicks. They do so. Ball comes out. Spiteri just on the ground. They've set up well. Kruger. And now what can they find in traffic? Beautifully done. Well-weighted kick, and Drinkwater just faded in. And he has another chance for a shot from about 40 out. Won't dish this one off Drinkwater. Well, the kick told the tale, excuse me. And ties up scores. 18 minutes played in this first term. Kick comes out under to be taken. Not a lot of pressure on there. I think it was perceived pressure for Kosh. A little bit going on in this. And the free kick's been given. It's going to the Giants. Kennedy not taking anything early in this game, setting the standard, which is what we like to see. Down the line, look at the pack forming here. Browning at the front, off the back. Plenty of Giants there. Good tackle applied. Important tackle. That one didn't stick, they were away. It's Turner. Browning, he was shepherded out of it. Yeah, good call. Washington just tried to work him away. They knew they had the third man up. Illegally done though, so Browning, a deep kick into full forward. Pack flies, plenty of numbers. Now, Drinkwater around the corner, lines them up. Does he get there? In fact, the mark's taken. Great work by Panizza. Going back with the flight of the ball. The kick not great though. Vlatko there for the Eagles. The Giants under pressure. Ball goes out. Approaching time on in the first. Washington up against Browning, third man up again. Well, seems to be the play of the day. We know that Browning is a devastating ruckman if he can get his hands on the ball. They're just trying to keep him away from it. Comes clear. Vlatko with a quick kick out of the ruck. Goes forward. Pearce at the back of the pack. Falls free. Spiteri now. Good pickup, one-handed. He's tackled though. Gets the ball clear. Plenty of support. Could have been holding the man. The Giants get it away again. And they'll get a downfield free kick, which is unfortunate because the Eagles had the numbers. As it is. Burke to kick it clear. But the turnover comes again. Vlatko. The mark is at on about 52 metres. Here's a long kick of the football. Just puts the head down and goes long. Right into the pack. Who can fly? In there is Stubbs. Couldn't bring it down. Pearce as well. Quick kick off the back. I didn't see who it was. But it's a goal. Looks like it might have been Charleston. Have a quick look at it. Back of the pack was a great kick. Not a bad effort in the end from Vlatko. See if we can pick it up. Spiteri at the front of the pack there. In fact, it was Spiteri. And Daniel Spiteri gets the goal. And apologies to the Damien Charleston fans out there. As we're back in the middle. And the Giants get it out. Carter goes wide. Turns it over and getting back in support. Vlatko wants to move it quickly. Looking for McConnell, finds him. McConnell goes back inside. Baker. Into time on. Eagles lead by the 1 goal. Baker's kick is good. Finds Ford. Turns quickly. Wants to move it in. Looking there. I think that in there was Drinkwater. And the ball eventually goes out of bounds. It's been a good quarter. Not a lot of scoring being done, but plenty of good football played around the ground. Washington against Browning. This time Washington wins it on his own right. Smother comes. The tackling has been intense. Pedersen trying to pick up if he's picked up a tag there. He's certainly not been as damaging as he can normally be. It looks like Johnson that's running with him at the moment. Now they're away. Anderson handballs back. Kick over is a good weighted kick. Looking there for McConnell. And eventually the ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in. 22, nearly 23 minutes played in this, the first term. Browning. On this occasion, he was up against Weir. So they're running a few through there, Manly Warringah. Drinkwater just can't find the handle. Might have been high tackle. Umpire says yes, it was. Frank. Back to Dimmery. Dimmery's kick inside 50, looking for, it was Pearce maybe. In fact, it was Reed. Might have been held, but great tackle there. Just affected the kick, pulled it up, and the numbers. It's going to be a free kick to the Giants, though. And it'll go to Polar Smith. Haven't seen much of him in this first term. Polar Smith's kick goes inside, over the back of the pack. How will this one bounce? Back there is Kruger. Gets around Fowler as the siren sounds to end this first term. And it's been an entertaining one as we go into the quarter-time break. It's the East Coast Eagles leading by 6 points. Manly 1-2-8. The Eagles 2-2-14. We'll take a short break here at Weldon Oval. We'll bring you all the action from the second quarter in just a moment.
I'm just very impressed, mate. I'm on my miles. Look at that LED screen over here. And stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did that drone thing. I'm just very impressed, mate. What are you question for there? I've got a I'm not the AFL. I got in with a go-kart, and I filmed a couple of go-kart races, similar sort of thing. That would be I've got a Oh, okay. And I've got the hyperconnector, whatever it's called, the same recorder. What are you using for live stream?
The
Okay. And yep. And what one call is enough for not having the radio?
Yeah, we got one other.
What station do you You can do all that on one dongle though, because I was thinking I'd have to buy one of those, those Terry deck bond, multiple. No idea I could do it. So roughly in terms of bandwidth, how much will that cost you to do a whole day? So to buy all that, to buy what I need, so that the Black Magic whitening codes, I definitely need something to encode. So to buy the cube and that sort of stuff to get it out there to be able to do live streaming. And then yes, obviously I'm using Black Magic just put your watermark on there.
Black Magic watermark. I'm also running Castle CG doing. I think it makes it easy.
You got a card on it, chance? I've done a couple of Let's Go and Orange and Dove Over. I'm looking at a couple of card in Australia. We've got some supplies and they're all based on things. I don't know if mine and you buy the does police actually put out a press release about 10 days ago. Drones no longer allowed to party with drone from without their approval. The government has set up a public liability, so obviously it's control and them, so they can keep them happy. So it's always fun. So normally it just goes out with on board, and then when I do these events, I'll go down and do rugby sevens, comp down at Darrell, and I'll take my drone, and I'll take another camera. I've got the GoPros I see the same HD.
Cheers, Larry.
On my drone, I can get 3 kilometers and still have control and system on board, those programs, and try and fix camera and operator camera, so they're all taken up.
And I'd jump into this. I'm Phil. I was meant to be coming.
Oh, how you going?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What? That's,
Yeah. I'll go and see my card. Yeah, no, you go. I'll bring you my card back.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, mate.
I was out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's actually. Yeah. Prior. What was your name?
All set here at Weldon Oval for the start of the second term. And it's the Eagles who lead by 6 points. And we're underway in the second term. Straight out of the middle, it's the Giants who get away. Turnover comes. Joining me up here in the commentary box for this second term, Phil Pryor from the Manly Warringah Giants Club. And Phil, how have you seen the game so far?
Craig, I must be honest, I've been having a shower. I was out there for
I set you up for that one.
Yeah, you sure did. Look, I mean, heading into this game, I think we knew it was going to be pretty tight. That's Manly's style of play, and it's going to take a full 4-quarter effort. You know, high intensity, high pressure to keep this East Coast side under wraps.
Emery goes inside 50 off the back of the pack there. Vlatko with the kick. Couldn't bring it around the corner, just the minor score. Margin now 7 points. Just had a cracking day here at Weldon Oval. Not a cloud in the sky, no breeze to speak of. Perfect weather for football. The Giants bring it out. And looking for an avenue out of defence. Come clear. Good work there. Wrapping up Anderson. In fact, the umpire's seen a high tackle of the Giants with the kick. Coming up with it is Jack Parker.
A nice moment for the young gun, getting paid a free kick by Razor Ray.
Not often you'd think you'd get that happening unless you really excelled in the game. They go inside now, the Giants. A high ball off the back of the pack. Fowler couldn't bring it in. Had every chance, just couldn't get the second effort. And he's wrapped up in the tackle by Costello, and the umpire will come in, Frank Kalayzich, as we've all seen, in his 500th senior game. I do say senior games because there's plenty of other games around that as well, including VFL reserves. Now Pedersen gives the big show, the big head nod, turns around, looks at home, and turns it over. Emery back on the last line of defence. Comes out, finds Kruger. Kruger works it on. The Eagles with numbers. Wanted to go back to Stubbs. A little bit of miscommunication. Stubbs now has to go and get it. Gets it back. McConnell's wrapped up in a big tackle. And Razor Ray right in there just to diffuse systems.
That's certainly the dry side of the ground over on that wing too, so you're going to see plenty of play over there today.
Browning, the big fist going forward. And, oh, geez, Jamie Vlatko's disappeared. And the free kick will go That ground falls away very quickly. Looked like he was bumped into a hole.
That's what keeps it dry. I think the guttering over there.
Go back. McConnell just slows down play a little bit. Vlatko now too far out, that's for sure. Long way from home. Drives them inside 50. Looking there, I think Reed is the target, and he'll get the free kick. Which is an interesting one because he didn't really look like he was going to go for the ball in the end. He got the free kick. Mark on about 52 metres out, so he's forced to just drive it long. Goes right to the square. Plenty of Giants here. The fist comes up on that occasion from Rob Whitten. And the ball goes out of bounds. A boundary throw in. As I say, Phil, the far side is the dry side here at Weldon. A little bit of mud patches down this near side and certainly through the middle. As we've seen a bit of rain throughout the week.
Yeah, the ball's stopping dead, but it is still reasonably dry weather footy when the ball's in hand. It's a bit tougher to pick up cleanly off the ground.
Great work there from Brain. Spun out of the tackle and gets the ball out into space. Emery, oh, well done, just puts the body in front of Batten and stopped his run, but they've turned it over again. Batten might just get this back, but Emery once again gets involved, and Costello goes and gets it. Feeds it out, and the Eagles find a little bit of space. Turner goes short, well-weighted kick. The ball was touched off the boot, which forced Johnson to play on, and goes out of bounds. You can see a very good crowd here this afternoon looking onto this game. And why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, we saw Sammy Batten there just overrunning it, and that's going to be the case all afternoon. You kind of have to just go back to about 90% when the ball's on the ground.
Drinkwater gets the hit out, and the kick goes inside off the boot of McConnell, just goes far left. And getting there to mop up is Weir, and eventually he just runs it out of bounds. So not a great result for the Giants. They had control. Approaching the 5-minute mark, second term. Not a high-scoring affair at the moment, considering the win that the Eagles had last week by, I think, 130-odd points. This is different territory for both sides. Just being wrapped up at the moment. Plenty of numbers around the ball, and you can afford to do that here at Weldon. Not the biggest ground in Sydney. Get numbers to the ball. Again, the ball comes clear. Could have been high contact, and Kennedy's seen it. Just a little one in there, chop across the mouth to Jack Dimmery in there. And he'll have a shot on goal. And should ice this one right in front.
Apologies if it's already been mentioned, but obviously with the absence of Wills Brazel, who went overseas a few weeks ago, and Tommy Pyle today, we are a bit short in the ruck as far as tools go. So the midfield are just going to have to work that little bit harder.
Dimmery off the left boot, as easy as you like, gets the goal. The Eagles skip out to a 13-point lead, and in the context of this game, that is a big one. Let's see if we can pick up the free kick. Right there. You see here, Dimmery goes down. Second, and there it is there, just across the chops. And it was there. So the Eagles get one back. As we head back into the centre of the ground. 1-2, plays 3-3. Sounds like a band warming up at the local RSL. Now the Eagles again through Anderson, starting to get a little bit of the ball at the moment now, East Coast. But some good work going back with the flow of the ball, Maxi Carter. Not a lot of options on offer though, so has to go wide. Found Brain. Levi Brain, the kick, not a great one. Puts it in front of Weir, but has some work to do. The tacklers come. Beckett it was there, dispossessed. Now, I think it's McConnell. Goes long. And the fumble of the ball on the last line there, and having to work it back.
Here, room here.
And the Giants just working themselves under a bit of pressure. They come away now. Panizza done some very good things in that first quarter. Puts out in front. Weird. In fact, it was Emery. Great pickup, and it just fell. The umpire will call thing. They put in a little bit of body on now, the Giants. Want to be careful. Anderson drives them inside. And almost the mark taken by Reed. Stubbs in there as well. Spiteri Comes now in the hands of Lavori. And he kicks it out of the area. Out in front of Beckett. Has to work back. Right on his tail there was Merson. And the umpire say throw it in. Right on the far side of Weldon Oval.
As it was mentioned, it's going to take that full four-quarter effort physically because Manly's really met their match in tied in the contest.
Ball comes in. Washington, they're up against Pearce doing the ruck work for the Eagles. And the ball will be locked in. We'll have another throw up. We've seen so far in this match Washington, and they've really employed the third man up, the Giants, so they know that they're lacking in the ruck stocks. Could have been holding the ball, did well to get it out there was McConnell. Coming away with it is Sanderson for the Giants. The big up and under in the middle of the ground. And getting back there, Dimmery gives it off to Kruger. And we know he likes to run. Has one bounce, now puts it on the boot. What's he got going forward? Nothing really, just puts out in a bit of space. Plenty of Giants there, and it's Kosh that finds a target out on the far side in Beckett. He wants to have a run now. Inside 50 now for the Giants. 2 kicks the difference. And a good mark taken by Polar Smith. And this for a shot on goal for the Giants, and they desperately need this one.
I was down here early on Tuesday having a kick with Polar, and I reckon he was slotting about 95% of them. So I probably put the mocker on him, but he's every chance from here.
I'd say probably. I reckon you've done him in. Jackson Polar Smith. He'll know this ground well. Kick comes now, and it's just pushed to the right, so it's the minor score. On goal 3. They're short, out of defence.
Lee Brain won't be happy with that. They've got to really batten down the hatches when East Coast are kicking out.
Stubbs hasn't really been in the game as much as he normally would be so far, so good to see him getting some kicks. And the Giants get a kick. Goes back to Fowler. Long way from home.
He probably backs himself from there, though.
He's done a good job. Polar Smith at the back. Got to beat 2. Comes down. Well done by Polar Smith. Gave it to Monk, and he's kicked the goal. Great goal, Giants. And a great work from Polar Smith to just make sure that ball got to the deck. Jackson Monk was right there to clean up and kick the goal.
He's been a sensational addition this year. He is an absolute live wire up forward. I played on him in a couple of the trials, and you've got no chance when you're around him and the ball.
Put that one down to Polar Smith's effort, though. Another one that just snuck in. There's been a couple of those this morning, or this afternoon. But the result is the same. Now, and plenty of mud in the middle. Callers play on Browning by hand. Now the Eagles, they'd be like to get another one back. Just maintain the margin. Overrunning on that occasion, McConnell. Good enough to go back and get it, though. Spins around, back onto the right boot, sizes it up. Has this got the journey? Won't get there, just on the line. Play it down for the Giants. Need him on the deck as the ball pops up, and it gets to Cass. Cass turns it around. Goal to the Eagles.
Probably some regretful play right on the goal line there from Harrison Kosh. Can't see who else is back there, but I think they've learned a lesson. They'll know what to do next time.
See here, it's Cass that spins it around, and just trying to pick up who it is that got injured. It's like Sanderson comes off second best from the tackle. With one man down, they were always under pressure. Kosh, as you said, went back into trouble. Probably should have killed it right there and then. Eventually pops up. Josh Cass for the Eagles gets the goal. Back in the middle now. And it's the Giants who get away with it. Brain drives them inside, looking for Polar Smith and getting back there. Ball must have been touched. Pedersen played on quickly. Heard the call. Now Costello for the Eagles. The ball goes out of bounds on the full. Let off for the Giants. Put over there, maybe.
That's Levi Brain.
Goal behind. Kick, not a great one. And goes out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in.
I was going to say, yeah, so he's just getting
Players reset. Browning gets in front of Washington, brings it down. At the runners, just couldn't find the handle. There again. Another stoppage. There's been plenty of work for the umpires to do. It is the man of the moment, Frank Kalayzich, to throw it in the air. Browning, the quick tap down. The Eagles get it out of the area, and there's going to be a free kick shepherding. And it's going to go to the Eagles.
there you go, dark horse.
And it'll be Blatko to take it. He hands off to Stubbs. Stubbs goes long. Could have been a holding in the contest. The umpire said play on. Ball comes to ground, and it's not coming out of there. We'll reset. 13.5 played in this second term. Eagles by 12.
Just see Hayden Washington come over to the bench. He looks pretty spent already. We're going to need to find someone to give him a hand in the ruck.
He's up against the best in the league, as per the representative football side in Andrew Browning. And he's having to do a lot of work. Smart operator, Browning. Doesn't look like the most nimble and fittest of blokes, but he gets around the ground and he's there when you need him. He comes down and the tackle applied. Good work there by Jack Hawkins for the Giants. If your back wasn't sore after 500 senior games, Frank Kalayzich, it might be this afternoon, doing plenty of work in the stoppages. Come clear. Stubbs tries to find a way through. Drinkwater, he's wrapped up as soon as he got it. And we'll have another ball up. Browning again gets clear. Goldstein holds the record in the AFL with 80-odd hitouts. Browning would be right up there in the Sydney AFL. There's a free kick here and a 50-metre penalty paid the Giants. Ball not given back. And there he is. Give a few of those in his time, Frank Kalayzich. Over generous in yardage. This one was off the back of the 50 square. He's taking it 10 short of the other side. Emery, big fist. Monk tracks it back and tracks it over the boundary line and into the bushes. 15.5. Margin just 12 points. No team really at the moment taking this game by the scruff of the neck. Thought the Eagles might have had a little bit of momentum early in this quarter. The Giants have stopped all of that. And a free kick there. Costello didn't like the treatment he got. Comes clear. Fowler. Hands off to Sanderson. Seen a lot of it this afternoon. High up and under. Polar Smith couldn't take it. And the mark's taken by Stubbs getting back. So having to work his way back into defence, Trent Stubbs found Dimmery. Dimmery with not a lot of offer down the line, goes back inside to Turner. Turner goes back to Stubbs, couldn't get there. Nice little touch from Fowler, throws it on the boot, the umpire says behind. Jeez, it would have been a good goal.
He tried to sell it there too.
Well, there's some experience behind the goals too in Ken Ray. He's been around for an eternity, it seems, as well. So, one of these new boys getting away with anything in this game, that's for sure. Short again, Turner. Gives it off to Anderson. Emery. Goes through the middle. They've worked this well. Now Costello with a bit of pace. Gives it off. And they drive it inside 50, the Eagles, and a great kick, well weighted, over to Vlatko. Vlatko hands off to Pearce. Pearce steps in the goal, end-to-end, coast to coast, however you like it. It's a goal to the Eagles.
Yeah, they certainly pride themselves running it out of that back one, and that was a prime example of that right there, East Coast. Well played.
Quite literally got it from deep in their own half. See Turner, Anderson, Emery, worked well. It's this little touch here from Costello.
And an example that it can be done even in these conditions. The ball isn't as wet and as slippery as it is, in those rainy games. Obviously, it's dried up a fair bit. So we're gonna be welcomes to a bit of run this afternoon.
Back in the middle now. Browning goes for a little bit of run. Interesting disposal. Cass bumps off one tackle, gets it clear. Drinkwater on the right boot. Looking for Ford. Just find himself behind. Now the Giants. It's with Weir. Did very well on that occasion. But the kick not a great one. And he's turned it over. Dimmery. Back inside. They'll reload. They're still slingshot football they're playing. Emery just treads water. So he sees what he likes. Goes further afield. Charleston, the veteran. Over the top. Flat coat. Similarly, played in those the three-peat grand finals back in 09, 10 and 11.
It's a strong mark over there. Connor Pedersen, when he goes up, he normally at least brings the ball to ground. He's much better overhead than what his height suggests.
Jamie Flatco for the Eagles is a strong competitor. Desperately like to get one here. Sends it on its way. Right to the square, back of the pack, and it's goal. I think it's McConnell who's kicked it. Jeez, the fly came from Scotty Reid.
Looked like he took a screamer there.
But just came down off the pack. But the end result is a goal. Have a look at it here. The kick comes in from Vlatko. The big fly, the back, he's 4 deep. Almost took it cleanly. In fact, it wasn't Reid, it was Turner. But the goal has been scored. And the Eagles get another one. Margin 23 points now. And just a little bit of danger signs for Manly Warringah. Back in the middle. Nothing really coming of this contest. Approaching time on. Ray Chamberlain.
We still haven't seen Washington come back onto the ground. Rob Witten's had to do a fair bit of work in the ruck in the second half of this quarter.
John Vlatko gets a scrubby kick going forward and it goes to the advantage, although they've turned over it now. But look at Browning. Just in that area. Come and help out Emery. He'll get it. In fact, it's not a great handball. And that could be an interesting decision. That is holding the ball. Razor Ray loves those ones.
Bit of AFL interpretation.
It is. And as seen on 360 throughout the week, it is now adopted in the AFL Sydney competition. Prime example of the rule right there and then. Yeah, I like it.
There's not too much confusion with that call. Razor Ray made the right decision.
You say it like it's not a common occurrence.
Well, there's been no shortage of confusion at AFL level with some examples of that, I suppose, Craig.
Yeah, but as you said, that one there is a prime example. Just dropped the head, drove it into the tackling player. And you could just see Ray, his eyes lit up. He's got one.
We can still get away with it in Div 2, though, I think.
Get away with a lot in Div 2. As Baker drives it inside 50. At the back of the pack, Reid trying to make a run for it. Couldn't get up in the pack. And the Giants with a quick kick. The bounce doesn't favour them. They've got plenty of numbers. Weir. Handball's off. Gets it across to Hawkins eventually. Now they're out of trouble. And the kick's a good one. Fowler's found a bit of space.
And Polar Smith has some room here if he wants to go over the top.
He does so now. That's like hedging your bets, I think, though. He's just tried to go over the top, and it hasn't paid off. And as you said, I think he saw a player there and in half mind decided, well, I'm going to put it long just in case I get it online. Not a great body work there from Fowler.
Yeah, Fowler has no shortage of confidence, so he's going to back himself from anywhere inside 50.
Spiteri mopping up. Stubbs there for the Eagles, as is Anderson. Having a good game out of defence this afternoon. As soon as you give a bloke a rap, out of bounds on the full. 22 minutes played, second term. As we said, the umpires today, Kalayzich, sorry Frankie, Chamberlain and Kennedy. Geez, there's some games there. As the Giants go forward again, Pedersen has a look. He's offline as well. 2-6, plays 6-3.
Yeah, that advantage has just sort of snuck out, so Manly really needed that goal.
Turner to Stubbs. Starting to control the game a little bit now, the Eagles. They won't want to concede many more. Manly make their task in the second half very hard. 110 of AFL Sydney, and the Eagles have got a percentage of over 300. So they're very good defensively and equally damaging in attack. Browning brings it down. Good work at the bottom of the pack there from Beckett. The handball goes astray. Cass drives it through. He's in there with Weir. Comes to Merson. Back to Cass. Tackling is good from the Giants, but they just can't get their hand on the pill. Spiteri, a little kick forward and a nice little gather. Spins around the right boot. Goes for home. That's a goal. Fantastic work from Daniel Spiteri. And out of nothing, puts another one on the board for the Eagles. They lead by 27.
Just excellent chase. Manly obviously couldn't get a clean possession in these wet conditions. The ball's just going to keep moving the way that it's advanced, and in that case, one too many fumbles.
Cass it was that put it out. Little touch there out of the hands of Ford. He wasn't happy with it. And then I don't think Daniel Spiteri owes him an apology. He finished off with the major.
And Washington's finally come back onto the ground. He looks a bit ginger though, so it's going to take a gutsy effort to run this game out.
Straight in the middle again. And in the back is the call. It's going to come back. The Giants kick. Burke it is with the ball. They need another goal now, Manly. Punch from behind. And the turnover. Looks like Stubbs gone back and playing a bit of a defensive role, which has been a good move. He hasn't been finding a lot of the ball in the forward line.
For much of what I've seen, East Coast seem to have the numbers around the ball.
It certainly look like they're working just that little bit harder. And the ball's going their way. Vlatko with a little fist across. And once again, as you said, got the numbers. Ford. Vlatko clears a space for Dimmery. Dimmery around on the right boot. Spins it around, looking for home. And it's hit the post. Thought that was through. Margin 28 points deep into the second quarter.
And still another half to go, but that could have just about sunk Manly, that goal right there.
Beckett. It's lively early. Need to build something, Sanderson. Not a lot on offer. Start to move now. Goes long down the line. Tola Smith at the back. Good work from Kruger to bring it down. Stubbs
again.
Baker. And Polar Smith backed it up. Kick smothered off the boot though. And they build something here. Some good hands through the pack.
There's Parker.
Giants go forward. Looking for Fowler. Could have been a free kick. Umpire said play on. Turner is met solidly. And have a ball up as the siren sounds. To end this second term. And a good one for the Eagles as they go into the main break. 28 points in favour. And it is going to be a tough task for the Giants. 2 goals, 6. I have it on my scoreboard here for Manly Warringah. We'll check that at half time. The Eagles, 7 goals, 4. And they'll be happy with that effort. It looked like they were going to get away with it there, the Eagles, early in the term. Manly just slowed them down, but couldn't get any scores on the board themselves. And the Eagles, so they dominated the last part of the quarter, and they go into the main break. 28 points in favour to the Eagles. Manly Warringah 2 goals, 6, 18. East Coast 7 goals, 4, 46. We'll take a short break here at Weldon Oval, and we'll bring you all the action from the second half. It's 1 versus 2. Winner takes the top spot. As we see coming off the field, very experienced umpiring panel in Chamberlain, Kennedy, and of course Frank Kalayzich. We'll take a break here on the AFL Sydney Match of the Week. It's the Eagles by 28 points.
Hi, mate. By yourself? Hey? You see me out there racking them up. We're usually playing that washed-out game that bye week. Yeah. So we're going to play that. Yeah, so that's yeah.
There was second.
What about you, mate? I always feel bad messaging. I know you don't.
I know.
I do always feel bad. I know one.
Yeah, I play.
Yes, and I think good on that.
Yeah. So
you feel moving out of your goal.
So it was like a big yeah, I played it. Yeah, different,
Yeah. You'd be surprised at how this makes
Have you been training? 9
So basically they have to play 6 games with 2. Or they could have played 4.
We did, but because I couldn't work so late. It's supposed to be afternoon.
What else, mate? Anything I was going to ask you, so you're that's right, yeah. So yeah, Saturday, so the AFL will be doing everything does. Everything does. And then
coach for him. But he's the other one who reasons up in that. Yeah, Chroma. Yeah, we're both oh, beautiful. Evie!
Any more raffle? $2 each or 3 combined?
Yes, yeah. But I guess pretty lucky
Oh yeah, that's pretty And we just like sit up there like talking away, whatever.
There's so many of them too because there's like 3 grades and then there's like the under 19, Div 4, Div 2.
Just about set here for the start of the third term. You can just see on the screen drone footage being fed to the scoreboard here at Weldon Oval. LED Screens Australia. Good job. Readiness for start of the third term. The Eagles lead it at the moment by 28 points. And just opened the game up a little bit at the end of that second term. You've been down in the rooms with Manly Warringah. What's the messaging coming out of there at the moment?
Yeah, it's kind of what I predicted.
Set you up again.
No,
A mouthful of burger.
No, I made sure I cleared it. Yeah, no, 2 words really, and they're 2 common words in footy: execution and decision making, or 2 terms, and that's basically what's let them down, according to Coach Lee Brain in that quarter. I mean, obviously they're matching them physically, they're matching them in many areas. They just need to probably back themselves a bit more with the ball in hand. You know, they've had just as many inside 50s as what the Eagles have had. The Eagles have been more accurate. They're hitting the scoreboard. Manly, they just need to find that confidence with the ball in hand. I think it's probably stemming from the fact that they feel their backs are against the wall out of the ruck, but they just need to find that little bit of extra confidence, and they're right in this one.
That's a good summation. The Eagles, well, they'll be desperate to get out there and start this one the way they ended the second, as the umpire holds the ball off. Hayden Kennedy in there for the umpires, and we're underway again. Starting to get very boggy in the middle at the moment. Dimmery, let the ball clear. Turner just loses his footing and wrapped up. High contact, umpire will say, and Turner will take the kick for the Eagles. Wide forward is the target. Got a good run at it, but some closing pace. Stubbs spins it around the corner. No one home for the Eagles, and getting back there in defence, McCaffrey for the Manly Warringah Giants. Down the line, toying with the boundary, and forward, going back with courage, takes a good mark. Wants to move it quickly. Now to the top of the square. Vlatko was taken out. And the umpire saw it. I'll claim a play on, but the whistle is gone, and Frank Kalayzich will say, Jamie Vlatko, your kick.
Yeah, probably a fair call there. He only really had eyes for the player.
See here, the kick came in from forward. Vlatko looked like he had the run at it, and there was no eyes for the ball. And correct decision. Vlatko to get the first of the third term.
This could be crucial. Could really just sink their hearts.
Vlatko's kick on its way, fading right, staying right. And a let off for the Giants. Slight adjustment to the score at half-time. Come clear looking for Polar Smith, the big fish from Emery, sees it over the boundary line. A throw in. Some imposing force back there, Kieran Emery.
Are you back?
Browning down, Stubbs. Nice little pick. Tried to get a Spiteri, just didn't sit up. In there, some good attack on the football from Burt. In fact, it wasn't Burt.
Tommy McCaffrey.
McCaffrey it was.
One of the young guys that's really stepped up this year. We just saw Jackson Polar Smith in the action a moment ago. He's probably been the pick for me in terms of improvement since last year. He's just come on in leaps and bounds and doing a wonderful job, and that stems from plenty of hard work off the track.
Costello just couldn't get the brakes on in time, goes over the boundary line. See a very good crowd turning up here at Weldon Oval. Browning in front, brings it down. Costello stands up in the tackle. Vlatko gets it through a little bit of traffic. Merson just juggling it through. Goes back to Stubbs. Building well. The kick goes inside, going back with it. Fly the ball, Spiteri.
Yeah, good courage.
And a good mark taken. He's really coming in. He's been such a good player over the years. Did a little bit of stint doing some bodybuilding work for a while there. You can see he's just trying to work his playing weight down again, talking to his father at half-time. But such a great competitor for the Eagles over many years. Another one of the players that played in those grand final victories through 9, 10 and 11. Spiteri's kick off the left boot, not a great one. And just misses to the left.
Yeah, the Eagles have no shortage of bigger-bodied players, and it's really coming to the fore. Obviously, Manly, they pride themselves on that really physical style of footy, but they've been matched and some by this Eagles outfit, especially in wet conditions. That it's just a hell of a lot more important.
McCaffrey's kick comes down. The target was Kosh. He sat up well, knew that Browning was coming. Stubbs gives up some ground. Handball not great to Turner, puts him under pressure. Has to just get it clear, and the Giants have done this well. Spins around the tackle. The mark here would be great. They did it. And Parker it was. Hands off. There was Monk. It's going to sit up. How will it bounce? Not the way they want it. But some good signs from the Giants. Charleston to bring it in. Finds Dimmery. Had plenty of it again. Goes across looking for Kruger. Under pressure. And now the Giants have forced the turnover. Pops it up. Looking there. Looks like Beckett might get it in the end. Takes on the tackle of Spiteri. Doesn't let go. John Vlatko doing the mopping up.
A lack of talk there in that contest. Manly just needed to have a chat to one another. They had the numbers.
In the end, it's worked out all right. The kick from McCaffrey is good. Found Fowler. Fowler goes with a little chiseling kick inside. The intended target was Sanderson. Couldn't get there. Somehow Charleston keeps it in. I thought he was running around the back of the bush there at one stage.
Oh.
Vlatko has to go.
Benbow wanted it a bit more then, I think.
Had to turn on the kick. See here. Good attack on the football by Benbow. Spiteri rushed the kick. Going to come and hit us up here in the back of the stand. Other way, out of bounds on the full. Giants will reload. Pedersen with the kick. Hasn't seen as much as he usually does this afternoon. It's word that the Eagles were going to run a fairly hard tag, try and nullify his effect on the game. If that was the case, they've done a good job so far. Right now, scrubby kick coming across. It's going to work out well, and the mark's taken by Parker. Just found himself in space. I think he was expecting contact. It never came. Jack Parker will line up for a shot on goal. We'll ride this one home.
In these sorts of conditions, it's kind of almost getting to that stage where Manly, they're going to have to start converting their chances.
Parker can start now. Kick looks good. It's coming back. It's going to be a goal. Got the distance, got the accuracy, and they get one back, the Giants, and exactly what they needed. Margin back to 22 points.
We went back to the under-19s last week, Jack Parker, and kicked 3 goals, so got a bit of confidence back, and that's the result.
See here, some good work from Fowler. Ball never really went out. Spiteri just let it go. Fowler just pops it up, going inside, and you can see here Parker expecting to tackle. Some good work off the ball to make sure Turner didn't get to him, and the mark was taken. And we're back in the middle. Margin back to 22 points in favour of the Eagles. They go again, Manly Warringah. This time Turner chops it off, goes with the tackle. Brain never really took possession, gets it across. Now with Carter. Goes to the top, getting back there. Emery Fowler with the fly, couldn't bring it in. A good punch from behind. There's plenty of numbers around there. Getting back there is Joinson for the Eagles. There's a little bit going on off the ball here.
Yeah, we've got Sammy Batten and James Brain down there.
One trying to rip one away from the other one, won't let go. It's all a bit of a circus down there. Turner still involved. Here from the crowd. They dissipate now. See a few more of those little hot spots.
Curbs Collins over there watching the soccer.
Baker.
We see down on the bench Jack Hawkins. He was champing at the bit to get out there and get amongst that. He loves that sort of stuff, Screech.
They've lifted the Giants. A little bit of intensity at the football that was lacking in that second turn. They go forward again.
Race is on.
In space, Kruger just works underneath. Turner back to Kruger. The young brigade work well. Certainly got Charleston covered in terms of youth. But
good effort from Jimmy Brain there.
Stubbs tracks him back. Just a bit tired there, Stubbs. He's been working hard. Now Pedersen, can he work himself into the game? Handball comes across from McCaffrey. They go back into trouble. Not probably the option there. Ben Bow. In fact, it's Washington, I think. It is.
They had the numbers there, but it was another case of execution.
Inside they go, the Eagles, and getting back to see that one over the line. Here's Jordan Weir.
Just needed a clean handball to get things going there, but it's certainly, you feel like the wheel's turning. Apart from
Kick
that
came out. Sorry to chop you off there, but Drinkwater got involved. He's been told to go home in the nicest possible fashion, of course. And Aaron Drinkwater will have a shot on goal from the turnover. Like a little settler, the Eagles. Margin at 23 points at the moment. Drinkwater's kick looks straight off the boot, straight over the umpire's hat, and the Eagles get one back.
And I think they know how important it was by the looks of their celebration.
See, takes the wind out of the sails a little bit. The Giants were working their way back into the game. And that will certainly just stop the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, East Coast is certainly going to be conscious of what unfolded in round one, and sort of getting to that similar story in this second half. So they're going to keep their foot on the throat here.
You mentioned round one, of course. The Eagles were up by nearly 40 points in the final term, and the Giants kicked 8 straight to reel them in by kick after the siren. They'll be desperately wanting that not to happen again.
Great pressure from Polar Smith there.
Kruger goes to O'Connor. The ball just stops short. Jimmery, ground level, puts it back in the path of Kruger. Couldn't find the handle. And now Turner's wrapped up. He's going to do everything he can to hold on to it.
Little Lecker Burke under there. He also does plenty of a lot of 1%ers off the ball up forward.
Throw away there from Stuart Turner away from Ray Chamberlain. You want to be careful doing that. Pedersen with the goose step being held, and Merson can't get it away. They play the advantage. Now the Giants, what can they build? They go wide and come up. Oh, big hit. Want to ride the bump. Certainly did. And now the ball is wrapped up. I think it's forward at the bottom of the pack there, is it? The umpire says holding the ball, so good result.
Tommy Beckett doesn't normally get bumped off his feet like he did on that occasion.
They go across. Pedersen now starting to find it. Danger signs for the Eagles. Not really many options to go, so he goes by foot. Just walters it in, and they've turned it over.
You just needed to bang it in there, Connor. Just got a little bit too fancy.
Foot races on. Reed.
Coaching players.
Give away the free kick, and the Giants starting to get things going their way. And downfield now as well, and it's going to be on. Here comes the spot flags. Monk has the ball further downfield. Stay with Monk. See Frank in there. He won't let anything go. That Monk goes long. Meanwhile, and Fowler takes the mark. So a good result for the Giants.
I think they've been watching a bit of State of Origin down here. Fists were cocked, but I don't think anyone was serious about throwing one.
The kick from Monk in. Fowler just read it best. And he'd rate him from here. He'd know Weldon Oval pretty well. Braden Fowler with the right boot. It's sliding, it's sliding. It's just a minor score. Not taking the opportunities when they come at the moment, the Giants. Margin 28 points.
Which could be crucial. We just saw, a bit of rough stuff down. It's one of those sort of momentum moments, and if Fowler seals that goal, then it could have been one of those sort of turning point moments. But again, not taking their chances.
Turner, short. Vlatko, John. Short again. They work the ball well by foot out of defence. Dimmery gets it over to O'Connor. Will chop up kick, not the greatest. And the mark's taken by Eric Burke. Goes in ball. They've got players finding some space now, the Giants. This is James Brain. Plenty of players standing right next to him. They could ill afford to have too many. Pushing forward, Washington did though. His kick, not a great one. Got to its intended target in the end. Coming out to meet it. It's Vlatko in there underneath. Stoppage comes.
And Hawkins under there, number 7. You can be sure that if the ball's on the ground around him, the other team aren't going to be taking a clean possession away.
The Eagles have really pushed back in defence. You can just see at the moment, just to the left of where the screen is. The Giants have set up well. They've got 3 or 4 just off the back, waiting for that rushed kick. See here, Sam Batten just waiting to come back on. But there's 3 Giants in the interchange area. Washington gets up and above this time. It's Cass gets the free kick. High contact.
Which is hard for a bloke of Jake Monk's height.
Turnover comes again, so not using the ball well. And that kick through the middle at the moment, the Eagles. Great vision there. Going across was Witten. And they go inside. The Fowler was the target. And good courage going back.
It was Pedersen, actually.
It's Pedersen's the blonde locks that got me. And the Eagles just toying with the line. Reed took the mark, and it's going to blow up again here.
Called high, actually.
Reed and Witten going at it. And Kennedy says too high. Reed will have the kick. Kicks into the man on the mark. He was just too close. He took a couple of times to make up his mind as to what he was going to do. Next thing you know, he's right on top. And then once again, the Eagles have turned over. And once again, it's McCaffrey.
What we are seeing is an even up of those numbers around the ball. And Manly seem to be the ones with numbers behind it too. The Eagles are having trouble sort of penetrating through that line at the moment.
Pedersen wanted to give it away, kept the possession and was tackled by Charleston coming back into the ruck. And they could have hurt themselves here. Both players getting up very slowly. Pedersen looks like he'll afford to lose him.
Yeah, he's had a big few minutes. I think he understands the moment that this game's at right now. But he doesn't look well either. He's really limping around there in back play.
Seen there, I thought just for a second I thought he might have been doing a Mitch Robinson there, faking the injury and then go up third man up. But this is danger for Manly. He's making his way to the boundary line, and for Connor Pedersen to do that, you know that something must be wrong. Forward with the kick. No real urgency too. Just limped off, and out of bounds on the full.
That's a poor kick. I mean, given Connor's just come off, it was a moment that the Eagles really could have just taken the game by the scruff of the neck.
James Brain wants to go. Frank says no. We've said a couple of times this afternoon, firing his 500th senior game. Speculation as to how many in total. Could be up near to 700 games of AFL football, or from Australian rules football, let's just say.
And I don't think the Giants will be too disappointed that players just slowed down here for a second. At the moment, they probably look like the side a little bit more out on their legs, given the work they've had to put in here. So they need to reload again here.
Brain eventually has the kick, goes inside, and the free kick's going to be given. And it'll be the Eagles to take it, the Stubbs. Skin down the line, read the target, they fly. Both sides, and the umpire's seen another free kick holding the man, so they're just picking the little things at the moment. The umpire's just taking control back a little bit of the game. Quite often see it, Hawkins with the ball. A few of those little spot fires flaring up around the ground. The umpires start just erring on the side of caution, should we say. Ben Bow goes across the ground. Found Panizza. His kick low inside. Turnover comes. Browning gets back there, gives it off to McConnell. McConnell to Cass. And there's been a free kick here as well behind play. And it's going to be forwards kick? No? I'm not sure what that signal is with just the hand up in the yellow card.
Oh, wow.
And that's what Hayden Kennedy was doing. He was holding up the virtual yellow card there. Obviously doesn't have yellow cards in his kit. Just missed that off the side of play, so
Dalton Sanderson.
Not sure what... He's blown time on. The player's not off yet, which is... I was going to say a little bit inexperience from Hayden Kennedy. That's a bit of a... exactly the story. And what's happening here? It's going to be a Giants kick. Just a little bit of confusion out there at the moment. It'll be Carter to take the kick for the Giants. We're in the 19th minute, 20th minute of the game. And Fowler, just a vertical leap. Impressive. Just willing his charges. You see there a little bit of anger, trying to push them inside, putting them where he wants them. They go forward again now. Browning back there for the Eagles. Good. Sits clear for Monk. Monk has a shot. Just offline.
I was going to say it'd be rare to see two Monk goals off the right boot in the one game. He loves that favoured left boot. But he's getting to the right areas, and he's probably looking the most dangerous small forward up there for Manly. Obviously, Braden Fowler's doing plenty of good work up there as well.
Murray will bring it back in for the Eagles. Once again, forced to go short. Kick from behind a tree here in a minute. There's Anderson across the ground to John Blackcoat.
That was another thing Brain mentioned in the sheds, just putting pressure, plenty of pressure on the man as the man on the mark.
It's a high contact free kick. It's going to be downfield. And they've called advantage here. I'm not sure. The ball was sort of sitting prone. And in the end, it favours the Giants. And you can just see there, looks like Kruger in a bit of trouble as the kick comes in for Manly, and the mark's taken by Jack Parker right in front of goal. Not exactly sure what happened there.
The Eagles kind of looked asleep there. They wanted to play on from the downfield, but no one else was really prepared for it.
And the Giants have pounced, and this might bring it back to 21 points if he can get this one through the big sticks. And he does. And the Giants are looming.
Yeah, they've had all the run of play this quarter. Just still a couple of times, perhaps one too many handballs. In these sorts of conditions, you just want to be getting it in quick. But they have sort of upped the ante a little bit, and the Eagles need to respond.
Go into time on in this third term. Eagles lead Manly Warringah by 21 points.
And mentally, if they can sort of claw themselves into the 40s, then all of a sudden you feel a lot closer.
Flatco out of the middle for Eagles, goes forward, but once again, the turnover. Spiteri with a good smother. Nice little tech, could have been holding the man there. Umpire says play on. The Giants, now Spiteri lays the tackle. Spins him around, and Ray comes in. Says, for all your effort, I'm going to throw it in the air. There's a whistle off play here. Frank Kalayzich has called it. It's actually an injury. And this is Kruger, we saw before. You can see that right arm is taped. I think that might be a dislocated shoulder. They're working on it at the moment. You could see he was sitting prone when he initially went down.
Speaking of injuries, we saw Connor Pedersen limp off about 5 or 10 minutes ago, but he's just come back on, so that's a positive sign for the Giants.
Stretcher coming on the field. I don't think it'll be needed, but gives both sides an opportunity to just reset a little bit. As to say, yeah, it is a dislocated shoulder. You could see that the arm was strapped. He may have had issues in the past trying to get it back in, but I don't know that they're having any success at the moment. So, well into time on now. This is obviously going to add plenty of time to the clock. Both teams have come together. It's interesting to see how it affects both teams. The Giants, well, they had all the momentum going into this injury break.
Yeah, it could favour the Eagles if they can sort of snatch one right here before the end of the third quarter. Once again, you know, they could just sort of, it could be enough given the conditions here today. Meantime, Craig, the crowd's building nicely. Where the club was sort of unfortunate to have to cancel a few of the other games, which would have increased the numbers here today even more so. But the numbers are building nicely around the ground.
Kruger still down on the far side. And, taking every precaution with him, but they are going to lay him down, looks like, on the stretcher. Challenge now to either side to regroup. The lights are on here at Weldon. I don't know they're going to have much effect at the moment, but this injury stoppage, we may need them a little bit later on. We are in the third term, and it is the Eagles by 21 points at the moment.
And you just wonder what sort of an impact the Eagles going a man down could have later on in this game. You know, given, as we mentioned, what happened in round one, perhaps that sort of fitness is a slight query, and maybe this highlights that.
Single break mid-quarter. It's going to be beneficial for both sides, but teams starting to come together now. They'll break soon. Kruger is coming off on the stretcher. Fear that they haven't been able to get that shoulder back in. So, every likelihood he'll be off to hospital. Good sportsmanship shown here by the Manly Warringah crowd. Players break and just start to reset for the resumption of play. Ball goes up again. Browning with a big fist. Pedersen gets his hands on the ball straight away. And I'd like to see that. The Giants sits up. Try to get it going clear, but all the runners with the Giants. Parker pops it over the top. Thing there, it's Monk. Fowler gets in there, but hands it straight to Trent Baker. Costello hasn't had the impact that he normally does. Cass gets out to Dimmery. He's certainly seen plenty of it. Got players through the middle. Merson on if he wants to use him. Decides not to. Formed. Flatco led up, but it's gone straight to Merson, who made a little bit more space. Jamie Flatco just circling. Merson goes in that direction now. In fact, it's going to be Stubbs to have the run. Big try! Harrison Koch takes a screamer. And the Giants are away. That'll lift the crowd.
He took a similar one at Weldon Park earlier this season, and up he goes again.
Absolute screamer from Koch. The turnover comes, and the Giants wrapped up. See if we can have another look at it. And see, the kick comes in. It's up there for an eternity. Great mark by Koch.
I think we'll be seeing that one again and again on the AFL Sydney website this week.
Just hope someone doesn't send it in without permission. We're back in the middle. Now, oh, look at that. Browning to Merson. Goal! And as quickly as you like, the Eagles put the margin back out to 27 points.
Yeah, there's a reflection of the ruckman issue that Manly faced today.
Have another look at the Koch mark. Comes in. Just gets the sit. Beautifully read.
He's got that princess spot with the basket now. You got to take the last game.
Get a run on the Port Adelaide side as well.
Yeah, we'll have to send a clip to Dave.
Sunrise, the whole bit. They're back in the middle. Margin back out to 27 points in favour of the Eagles, with a wonderful goal scored off the ruck work of Andrew Browning. Merson it was who got the goal. Normally you'd say in this context of this game, 27 points to margin. You know, it's going to be hard for the Giants, but they've proven they can do it.
Yeah, still early days. I mean, you can't write Manly off yet.
Baker with a bit of pace off half back inside, looking for Pearce, and it was caught behind, gave away the free kick, high contact.
Yeah, you can't write Manly off yet, but they've shown this quarter that that they can certainly match probably the premier team in the competition, and that'll be the take-home message regardless of the result.
Weir through the middle. Pedersen was one that set it up. Starting to find it now. Inside 50. This is a good build-up by the Giants. The bounce doesn't favour them initially, but does in the end. Handball over from Livery. The kick comes, and have they got the answer? They have. They get one back. I thought initially that the bounce was going to cheat them out of an opportunity.
This all finishes up okay, I appreciate
But
it.
it
Just yes, it's okay.
eventually falls their way.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Another newcomer to the side this year, Horny Livery. He's really brought plenty of run and speed and just an elite kick in this side.
It's James Breen who kicked the goal. Back in the middle. 40 plays 61. Pedersen once again getting his hands on the ball. The tag might have been just a little bit soft at the moment. Ball bouncing away in there from Anderson, but he's getting the free kick as it just held in the tackle. Anderson overran it, didn't really need to do it. Now John Glatko just pops up when needed. Cass on if he wants to use him. Now Ford through the middle, goes in that direction. A good lead and a good kick. Ford by hand to Anderson. He started this. How can he finish it? Goes inside looking for... That was O'Connor. He's given away the free kick as the siren sounds to end this third term. And an exciting term it was. And we're set for a very exciting last quarter here at Weldon Oval. The margin 21 points at the moment in favour of the Eagles. But Manly are coming. 5-10-40. Manly Warringah 9-7-61 the Eagles. Make sure you stick around and join us in the final term. We've got a cracker on our hands. This one will go down to the wire, no doubt. It's the Eagles by 21 points at Weldon Park.
That's when they gave up. They're probably losing we need to be rested for
You can rest in the car on the way home.
Yeah, Scott. So just Nick will be talking. Nick did talk. Nick very short. Yeah,
Oh, they're both Nick.
So they were Sydney.
Yeah, they played one left.
Yep.
Because I don't want to ring. Because I've just done massive things.
All due respect, yours is And you want, if you don't leave it for free, I want you to pay for it.
So it's not a money thing. And I don't know if it's a burglar. I wake up at 7 in the morning and I'm like, okay, well, mow your lawn.
Tracy's gone to the house again.
But so they don't have, they can probably get maybe a little bit more. But they collect all this furniture.
Oh no, that's different.
But they, in New Zealand, they've picked it out there and they're renting it as old like place. So they now the same thing they've got 2 diamonds, 5 TVs. So the house here, got everything.
Maybe 2 years or so. But he can say his girlfriend. His other friend. Yeah.
All right, we're ready to draw the raffle. Everyone have your tickets ready? Okay, we have one ticket. Dylan's drawing it right now. We're up at the canteen. And what ticket number is it? It's an orange ticket. E059. Orange ticket. E059. There is a name on this ticket. That name is Craig Saxby. Craig Saxby, congratulations, you are the winner of the raffle.
Thank you.
And meet Craig going to the Saxby household. Thanks so much for showing quality meat. Enjoy your day, mate.
That's me, that's me.
That's what my dad
Yeah, that's great, that's great.
There are tickets available.
All in readiness for the start of the final term here at Weldon Park, and you can feel the buzz in the air at the moment. The Giants went into that break with a little bit of momentum on their side. They trailed by 21 points, and we know what happened in round one. They came back and took the chocolates. As we get set, Frank Kalayzich holds the ball aloft for the final time in his 500th game here at Weldon Park. And he's got a belter on his hands. They go forward, the Eagles, off the boot of Beckett. Bouncing nicely. Polar Smith tracks it back. Charleston on his hammer. Goes back inside. And it's Turner for the Eagles. Gives it off to Baker. Baker's handball. Just got it through some traffic. Sits up. A little bit of confusion. I think it's Anderson that goes back. And John Vlatko again with a little up and under. Plenty of players around this one. Comes down. Pierce it was that brought it down. They go back again to Vlatko for another little chip kick over the top. This one's a little bit more damaging. And found McConnell. Excuse me, the Eagles with a little bit of forward momentum now. The mark not taken. But getting back there, the Giants now with a little bit of breathing space. The kick, not a great one though. And getting back there, drink water. That's probably what I should be doing right now. Stubbs. Oh, from the boundary line, lines them up. Doesn't go the way he wanted.
There's plenty of belief down in the huddle at three-quarter time there, Craig. 21 points, 22 now. Manly certainly still feel like they can win this game, and given that momentum ending the third quarter, they're every chance if they can just stay a little bit composed with the footy and execute like the half-time message was. Similar sort of message at three-quarter time.
Now the Giants down the far side. And this one play. Mark Pade. There's Fowler out there. Kick, not a great one, just drops short. John Vlatko, nice little pickup. Gives it to Turner. Turner's kick affected with the tackle. Just goes out in front and unable to bring it in. Ball goes out of bounds. A boundary throw in, far side, right in front of the sight screen. Washington been gallant in the ruck. And his work cut out for him. Just works Browning under the ball there. He gets back onto it. Browning gives the handball up, looking for Costello. Costello will get the free kick. The Eagles will be desperate to have a goal here. You see our clock on the screen. It's probably about a minute slow, so bear that in mind as we go forward. The kick in, the one big mitt comes up from O'Connor. Couldn't bring it down. Spiteri comes out of the ditch trying to find it. In there as well is Stubbs. Plenty of tackling coming from the Giants. And we'll have a ball up. I have to say, the umpiring today has been first class. And there's a free kick coming here. It's going to go to Browning. back. Got the zinc cream on. Was a little bit worried about the UV factor this afternoon.
We saw the Eagles lose a man in that third quarter. Kruger stretched it off. I noticed Jack Hawkins with a sling on. He's got an AC injury, so they're both down one each.
Browning's kick's on its way. They form at the square. This looks good. It's all the way, and Browning gets the goal for the Eagles. Sensational kick from the ruckman. And the margin out to 27 points.
Especially with a bit of water on the footy, obviously a wet ground out there. That's a pretty big boot. By the time we get into the fourth quarter, that footy's pretty heavy.
He didn't look like doing anything but going back for the goal there, Browning. He set himself right from the moment he got the football. See, now tracks it in. Beautiful kick off the boot. And we know the result. Back in the middle now. The Giants under some pressure. Livery goes wide, finds Pedersen, just pops it up over the top in the path of Weir. Weir with a little bit of run, goes inside 50, too big for Braden Fowler, and Charleston back there read it well, but the kick's an ordinary one. And Washington, well, he's lucky that travelled 15.1 metres. Dishes off now, the kick is good. Found the leading Eric Burke.
I thought Washington might have backed himself from there. He's got a pretty big left foot, but Burke, for a little bloke, he's got a big foot as well, so he shouldn't have an issue with the distance here. But for Manly fans, let's hope he gets it online.
Burke, kick from about 40. Lights it off the boot and just fading late. It's another opportunity missed. 5 goals, 11 now. The Manly Warringah Giants. Let off again, the Eagles. It's been a great contest. Demery, he's been good. Turner just gets away from Washington, gives it off. Costello just does the little things beautifully, and he's done it again here now. Spiteri, short to Ford. Could have gone all the way, but saw James Ford. Well, he won the battle there of the man buns.
Yeah, that play oozed class from East Coast there.
James Ford, this will make them really hurt from that missed opportunity from Eric Burke. Ford's kick on the way, might have given him a let off. He tracks it in, does Ken Ray. It is a let off. Margin 27 points. It's been hovering around that mark for some time now. Fowler, a long way from home, but takes the mark over the back of the pack. Wants to go through the middle. Good kick. Good mark taken from Tom Beckett. Wants to move it quickly. Nothing really on offer, though. Called to play on now. Under some pressure with the kick. McCaffrey the target. Might give away the free kick. The umpire says no. Did very well there, McCaffrey. And now under pressure again. The tackling's been fierce this afternoon from both sides. And Ray Chamberlain comes in. Says, I'll have this one. They know they're under pressure. They know that they play it hard here at Sydney footy. Hasn't been a walk in the park for the ex-AFL umpire Hayden Kennedy, and of course the current games record holder.
Well, we know there's plenty of tired legs from both sides, but spare a thought for Razor Ray. This is his second game in under 24 hours on a heavy track.
Actually, the ball, so the ball went out, it just popped back in. And another boundary throw in. And once again, it's a discrepancy on the scoreboard. The scoreboard here shows the Eagles 10-9. We'll make it only 10-8. Go with our options at the moment. The smother of the kick there from Parker. You hear the real slap. There's Drinkwater that got the smother in.
Parker grabbed a couple of third quarter goals and looks really dangerous. They're going to need him to keep stepping up here.
Pops out the side. Just there from McConnell, getting back with a kick in, and a fortuitous little kick there from Eric Burke. And has found Polar Smith, who was in front. McConnell for the Eagles, who just couldn't get his hands on the ball, and Paula Smith will finish off. They get a goal, margin back to 21 points. See here, it's McConnell here that just didn't sit up nicely for him, overran it. Getting in there was Burke. Might have even been touched off the boot. No, he may not. Ford might have got a fist in there, but the mark was taken. Paula Smith finished off.
And then you have to play this one.
Back in the centre. Coming away, O'Connor for the Eagles. Just trying to bat it forward. Certainly getting very muddy in the middle at the moment. Little chip kick out from the Eagles. Stubbs there, ducks under one, goes back. Johnson with a little handball across, and they get it going forward. The mark looking for Ford, couldn't take it. It's a good battle down there from Ford and Benbow. And the Giants, the defence has been good this afternoon. Getting back now, McConnell. Can he pick this one? Yes, he can. Gives it Costello, under pressure from Braden Fowler. Knocks the ball clear, gets it back himself, and it's dispossessed as well. Some great tackling from both sides. And now the Giants are away. Turn it over again. John Vlatko back there in defence. His kick has been turned over, so neither side getting the ascendancy at the moment. Weir goes forward. Out in the pocket. They now centre it up. Beckett at the back. So's Paula Smith! Much to the appreciation of the home crowd, Paula Smith's taken the mark and should finish off.
His previous set shot was a little bit closer. He hurried through that one to just bang it through. This time he probably needs to just take his time and steady.
Paula Smith just eases the kick through for a goal. And here come the Giants.
All stemming from that great defensive effort there from Braden Fowler. We all know the importance of keeping the defensive pressure right up, and quite commonly it finishes with a goal.
See here is the mark from Paula Smith. Just right over the top. Turner Reid it was that just pulled out at the last minute. And Paula Smith took the mark. We're back in the middle. Secondary bounce. Margin 15 points now.
I know I'm biased, but who doesn't want to see a big finish here?
Oh, we love a big finish on the match of the week. Just getting at the moment, just once again a discrepancy with the local scoreboard. We'll try and sort it out because it may come down to the wire. Merson never really took possession. The umpire said had enough of it though. Off the deck, and ends up in the arms for Spiteri. Spiteri now goes off the deck. Plenty of Giants lined up there though. Stubbs goes in, applies a tackle, but illegally. High contact. Go in again, the Giants. Another goal here would be very difficult. Fowler gets it off the back of the pack, lines them up, but lows for home, misses.
Probably just needed to straighten his run there, Fowler.
He's had a few opportunities today, Braden Fowler, that have gone begging. Here's another one. Plenty of players here on the sideline. 6 players waiting to get on. They come long. Vlatko the target. Good work getting in front. O'Connor, though, snagged it away. Wants to go through the middle. Spiteri the option. Gets the second grab. Touched off the boot. He'll have to play on here. Stubbs does well to get her hands on the ball. The turnover comes from the tackle. Another good tackle. Drinkwater, brilliant.
Yeah, Razor Ray's not going to miss something like that. That was a pretty clear-cut decision there.
They need one now, the Eagles. Drinkwater goes wide. Push forward has Scott Pearce. A great contributor for the Eagles this season. Not as damaging today. He would desperately love to see this go through for a goal.
Last week, yeah, last
Pearce on the left boot. Proper side just fading though. Won't go the journey though. And at the back of the pack, Reed tries to get a kick away. Merson sees some space, couldn't get it away. Costello in there as well, going hard. Plenty of Giants there. Kosh gets the quick kick away. Drinkwater has a shot on goal, falling over. Just doing the goalkeeper thing in the end. And desperate times for the Giants at the moment as the ball goes over the boundary line.
Which I don't think the Giants will be disappointed with there. They need to reload again.
Set up, they've pushed up the press. The forwards are right up in amongst it, waiting for that kick out of defence. Coming through, Spiteri at the bottom of the pack. It's been very good this afternoon. Pedersen now forward, swings around, sees a bit of space, couldn't get it around the target, just offline. And the minus score. 15 points the margin. Go wide, the Giants. Desperately love a coast-to-coast goal here.
It's Kosh again with that mark. He's had a big second half.
Sanderson worked it forward. Stuart Turner comes over the top. Ben Bow in there. Did the hard work trying to get some space for a mark. 13 minutes played. And some good work coming through. The Giants now with an opportunity going forward, but leading to the race. Well done, Jamie Vlatko. Looks like they've moved Vlatko back into defence to take on. Fowler goes out to Charleston. They want this out, the Eagles. Doesn't do so. Fowler works his way around. How will this one go? Round too far. And just the minor score.
And he got a stern look there from young Jackson Polar-Smith too.
His eyes lit up, as they tend to do. Fowler in front of goal. Can the Eagles hold on, or will the Giants repeat history? Merson. Overrun there, McConnell. John Vlatko gets the pick. The quick kick off the hands, finds Drinkwater. It's a good one. Now they've got Costello on this far side of the ground if they can get it to him. He's just working his way forward now. And a mark's taken by Dimmery. And he sees Costello in that space and he goes there. Beautiful running Dean Costello. And there's an easy goal for the Eagles.
Yeah, Manly just went to sleep after Fowler's kicked behind. Then East Coast had no trouble working the ball up the ground, and really they didn't provide enough effort defensively.
Not sure if Costello came onto the ground off the bench, but he was in all sorts of space and there was no one near him. Just out of frame there, you can just see him come in there. Dimmery takes the mark and says, no, settle down, hang on, wait a minute. There's no one near you. Costello waltzes into the goal and kicks it, much to the pleasure there of John Gourley behind the goals for the Eagles. So we go back to the centre. And here they go again. East Coast forward looking for Pearce. Couldn't quite get there. McConnell gets rid of one. Spins around, gives it off. They've got another. Pearce and McConnell waxing lyrical. And two quick goals in succession.
Yeah, Stubbs with the clearance there. He's one player that you don't want with a bit of room coming out of the centre square.
Desperate, the Eagles, to make sure history doesn't repeat. And that's what they're doing now. They lead by 26 points. Chamberlain, the umpire, with the ball in his hand. Interesting to see if I'm sure he has enjoyed his day out here in a little bit of park football.
Look at that, perfect bounce.
He's bounced it in the middle. He's just lair-rising now, Ray Chamberlain. The umpire's coach should drag him for that sort of stuff. Ford runs onto it. He enjoys a sense of occasion, doesn't he, Razor?
He certainly does. And I think the players have been just a little bit mindful of Razor Ray's shoulder following an incident with Trent Tremont the other week.
Saw Washington coming off limping. He afford that, the Giants. Dimmery under some pressure there from Sanderson. And Ray comes in.
Yeah, Washo's in all sorts of trouble. I didn't ask him what was wrong at half-time, but he pedalled about 20 Ks on the bike to keep the legs going, so it's probably, I think he's probably popped a nasty core.
He goes out of bounds off the boot of Stubbs. Can the Giants respond? Time running away. As we said earlier on, our clock probably just a little bit behind the game clock.
Bit of room for Tommy Beckett, I think it is, over on the far side of the ground here.
Kosh, it was. Gives it across. They work back through the middle. Good work from Batten. He was very lively early in this game. They've worked this well, the Giants. They need to find a target, and they do. Pedersen eventually paid the mark. Whilst he hasn't had the free running game that he's so used to playing, he's done some good things this afternoon, Pedersen, the captain.
I'm not sure if he'll have the legs here, but he's going to back himself.
Bit of reverse psychology being played up here in the commentary box. Pedersen, I'll back him in from 45, and you've called it correctly, and Blacko takes the mark.
Sorry, Con. I'm sure he'll go over and have a watch of this video during the week. He won't be happy about that one.
Jamie Vlatko. Well, play on, and what's the call here? Play on, well, what we do, he's behind the goals, and the umpire's called it behind. So, that's... Always seems to find one like that, Frank Kalayzich. His knowledge of the game, second to none, that's for sure. As the looks like the Eagles peanut gallery is packing up the folding chair for the afternoon. Bringing his rubbish back, that's good to see. And as the kick comes and goes over boundary line. Time against the the Giants now. The margin 25 points. It would be a heroic effort if they were to come back from this. A little bit going on there between Stubbs and Livery. Ball comes in. John Vlatko trying to work his way through traffic. Umpire Hayden Kennedy. And it's still on here between Livery and Stubbs. Kennedy's not having any of it.
We haven't seen as much niggle in the fourth quarter as what we did certainly in the third.
Going on Dimmery, trying to get it clear. Pedersen tries to just go in there and get it himself. Spills out the back. Kosh gives up a bit of space to Ben Bow. Ben Bow just affected the kick as he was tackled, but it's a good one across. The bounce doesn't favour them though. In fact, getting through Brain it was. They've found a bit more space. And they've turned it over now. Pearce with a open goal in front of him. Spiteri is running into space. Will he get there? It sits up beautifully for Daniel Spiteri. That's as easy as you'll get it. And he sticks it in the park. And this one's done. Costly turnover from the Giants. And the Eagles pounce.
Yeah, I think now's the time where we suggest it's wrapped up and we can start to, I suppose, talk about things like Manly really came out and gave it their all in the second half. Obviously, coming from a fair way back, and even if they do go down in this one, I think Lee really wanted to get the message across that they can easily match this East Coast side, and they've certainly proven that in the second half.
That's for sure. It's been a good game. And it's lived up to the hype. Merson gets some scrubby kicks. Now Stubbs puts it up, and now Pearce is starting to find a little bit of space. So late in the game, and the Eagles look to ice it. They don't need the percentage boost, that's for sure, but they'll take the 4 points, and they'll take the evening of the ledger for 2015 between these two sides. Many suggesting this will be the pairing on the last September as Pearce puts it through. Another one to the Eagles. And they finish off well. So we do finish off here at Weldon Park. Stick with us after the game. We'll try and get one of the umpires up here to speak. Of course, celebrating Frank Kalayzich's 500th senior game here this afternoon. It's Browning gets it clear. James Brain drives them forward. Charleston takes a good mark in defence. Handball's over. Reed. Booming long kick, looking for Dimmery. Perfectly weighted. He'll get the free kick. A little bit of interference on the way through. And the Giants are done. Flat coast handball. Turnover comes eventually, and it's Jordan Weir runs away with it. Pops it up. But strength from Jamie Blackcoat, sees him take the mark and comes out to Turner. Into time on. Turner finds Dimmery. He's been, I'd suggest, one of the best for the Eagles this afternoon. As is this man. Turner's played a very good game. They've been very pleased to have him back from injury. Anderson over to O'Connor, I think it is. Far side. His kick's a good one. Found McConnell. McConnell's kick, looking for Merson, finds him. And the ball goes out of bounds. In fact, it's going to be a free kick to Merson. 37 points the margin. Ford comes on the ground for Drinkwater. Merson goes to the barrel. Well, they're just lairising now, and it's come off. Stubbs takes the mark. I'm not sure that was the intended target. In fact, I don't think there was an intended target. Trent Stubbs had a shot on goal. It's been an enthralling contest. The Eagles have just had their noses in front all afternoon. And Stubbs finishes off with a goal as well. And the margin now blown out to 43 points. Not indicative of how the game's played out, but well deserved by the Eagles. 7-14 the story of the tape for the Giants. They've had their opportunities and unable to put them on the scoreboard. Frank Kalayzich with the ball in hand, deep in this final term. Browning wins the ruck. McConnell just eyes on the football, eventually gets there. Browning again, he's been damaging this afternoon. The absence of a recognised ruckman for Manly. Dimmery, again, another stat. Could get it back. Spiteri's played a good game. Vlatko pops it up. How will this one sit? Stubbs flies, couldn't bring it down. There's going to be a free kick on the play. It's going to go to the Giants. Kosh took an absolute hanger earlier this afternoon, making a habit of that. Gets it over to Witten. Witten wants to get around. Spiteri does so. Dishes off. Still under pressure. The tackling pressure comes from the Eagles and they force the turnover. Reed with the mark. Goes inboard looking for Browning. Long way down for Browning, but he gets there. Vlatko pops it up beautifully and Pearce takes the mark. Thinks about dishing off. Says, no, I'll have this one. See there in foreground, it's Burke for the Eagles. One of the players we've been missing this afternoon, and they'll be very happy to see him back in the side in the coming weeks. Pearce steps onto the 50, lets it go, went for distance, and just pushes it to the right. They crack the ton here at Weldon Park. 44 points the margin. It's been a good afternoon, enjoyed by many. And if this is what we've got to look forward to come September, then bring it on, I say. It's been some good football played this afternoon. Kick comes in. Found McCaffrey. As the siren sounds to end this top of the table clash. And in the end, the Eagles proved too good for the Giants, And run out 44-point winners in the end. And it's been a fantastic way to celebrate 500 games for Frank Kalayzich. And you'd expect a few handshakes definitely as he comes off the field. And they did a fantastic job too. These two little newcomers in, Chamberlain and Kennedy. But it's been all about Frankie this afternoon. Much congratulations to him. Much congratulations also to the Eagles. And you see their nice little touch. The East Coast Eagles, winners in round 10 over Manly. They go to the top of the table. They own it exclusively. And nice fitting touch there. Frank will end up with the match ball, that's for sure. And as we wrap things up here at Weldon Oval, it's the East Coast Eagles. They go to the top of the AFL Sydney ladder. And depending on results on the grounds, Manly could slip to third with Pennant Hills, which sets up an absolutely cracking clash next week. It's back to Borco Day for the Eagles and Pennant Hills, traditional rivals in the AFL Sydney. We'll be bringing you all the action from that match out there at Cambridge Oval. That will be one to keep your eye on. It's been a fantastic clash here this afternoon. Still, the plaudits come for Frank Kalayzich. Wouldn't it be fitting if they cheered him off? John Vlatko there, just making sure he gets a little bit of dirt on him. And the respect shown there is very, very pleasing. The Eagles, they'll be happy with the win. Frank Kalayzich will be happy. He's had a big week. Headed down to AFL 360 to meet the boys on Wednesday night. And now, as you can see, accepting handshakes from all involved. Congratulations, Frank. You've been an absolute stalwart of football in Sydney. And so fitting that you are still umpiring at the highest level in the competition. See the Eagles coming. They'll be happy with the 4 points. They'll celebrate that tonight. And as I say, they go to the top of the table. Fellas there, Anthony Dignan, been around football for a while as well. Both North Shore boys showing that he doesn't want to go off, Frank. He's just enjoying the moment. And the applause comes for the local side. They were gallant, but in the end, unable to match it with the might of the Eagles. 7-14 Manly Warringah. East Coast Eagles 15-10. The margin 44 points in the end. And congratulations to all involved. We'll wrap things up here at Weldon Oval. And make sure you join us next week. We will bring you the important clash. We'll have 1 versus 2 again, potentially, out there at Cambridge Oval when the Eagles take on the Demons. Right now, we'll wrap it up here at Weldon Oval. The Eagles, by 44 points, they take the top spot on the ladder.
Come and join you.
Nice meeting you. Hopefully I'll see you again in the game. Nice to meet you. Have a nice night.
want me to ask you? Well, I need you to just make sure that you're pointing in the right direction.
Yeah.